Hello, this is Maxwell with Z Gambit, and this is my wife.
Hey everyone.
So today we are going to do a review of a video on single mothers and the dating pool. So I hope you enjoy, but don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video as we go right into the video and watch. So watch with us.
A lot of rhetoric we hear online is that single mothers are less valuable on the dating market. Do you feel like that is fair?
Fair is the wrong word, but I think there's truth to it.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is there is a level of disqualification that's going to happen because a man that is high earning, high value has a lot of options. Now, does that make that woman a bad woman? No. Does it make her unworthy of love? No. Does it mean that it's never going to happen for her? No. But odds are most high value, high earning men want what they want. And sometimes the extra baggage of children, not to say that children are baggage, but you know what I'm saying, that's not going to be the choice. And also, I think too many women are letting too many men baby mama them more than once.
Shout out to the baby mama makers. Having a woman that can change the course of your life emotionally and spiritually, and you disqualify her because she has a child that can also guide you in your personal, financial, and spiritual journey. At some point, we have to level up emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Yes.
And acknowledge that children are not the standard to disqualify a woman. There's so many other things that people can provide, whereas if you say, but if you have a child, I don't want it. So now you're robbing yourself of your own spiritual journey, your own emotional journey, because you have a rigid mindset of what you like.
That would be the
All right, so first of all, children are a blessing from God. We can't dispute that. And also, we know that everyone has a right to choose who they want to be with. Now, if everyone has a right to choose who they want to be, men also have the right to choose who they want to be with in this case. And it's very true that women who have children come with extra baggage, because a child, as much as a child is a blessing, that is extra baggage that the man has to look afterwards, you see? So if a man has a choice to choose between a woman that does not have a child and a woman with a child, I'm sure most of them would go directly with the one without the child, because they have to start with a clean slate as such, you see? So the woman may be a good woman. She might be, someone that could really, really help in many, many things. But so could the woman that does not have a child, but only that this one will help without bringing extra baggage. And in certain cases, you see certain cases where men raise children and afterwards children go to look for their biological fathers who reap the benefits afterwards. That's very painful. I'm sure that's very painful, So we have all those cases, and most men would rather not go into that, because what if the father to the child is in the picture already? And that becomes a problem as well, you see? So I think it's much easier to just find a woman without a child. And that's why I would say women without children are much more valuable in the dating market as compared to those with children. What do you think about that?
Well, I think she phrased it well when she said that fair is not really the right word, because a woman can be good in every other aspect, but the fact that she has a child limits her options, because there are a few men who there's some men would prefer to be with a woman who does not have children. So she could be a good woman, but that's not the only thing that he has to look at. He has to consider the child. Is the child willing to accept him as the father? The father figure, is the child still in good terms with the biological father? Is the woman still in good terms with the biological father to the child? There are a lot of questions around the whole situation. So in as much as I think that children are a blessing from God, the situation itself does limit the woman's chances in finding a potential partner.
Yeah, that's very true. And I know, some people would say, no, that should not matter. But unfortunately, it does really matter. Like the idea you brought about of saying the father, if they're in good terms with the father, you never know what they've been through together, all those, There's a saying which says an old farm is easy to till, So they could easily come back together and, you'll be a third wheel in your own relationship. So all those things are factors that people should consider as they date women that already have children in that case, you see. Anyway, but before we actually even go deeper into this, there's an aspect of it where, because we're talking about women with children, there's an aspect of men with children as well that we need to talk about. I'm sure some of you here would want to know about men with children as well, how they are regarded in society. But that we are going to talk about, discuss after we watch the final part of the video, as we finish the video. So let's watch the video together and then we comment on the main part as well together.
The assumption that one doesn't have the other. Like, imagine a woman that doesn't have children that can help you to grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, and energetically. If you have the option, and that's why I'm saying you got to look at it where both things are even. It's not to say that women that have children are worse and women that don't are better. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the reality of a good woman that comes into your life, if a man is blessed enough to actually get a good woman that wants him to grow and wants to evolve and wants to be in her feminine and wants to submit and all of these different things, then that's a blessing in itself. However, if a man has all the options, why would he choose a woman that already has children?
Option doesn't mean that that's who you were ordained to be with.
I agree.
So you can have many options, but don't let that trick you out of your spot. There's infinite pathways to God.
True.
Right?
Yes.
So that means that we're not just paying attention to options, we're paying attention, who is my soul guiding me to? And your soul may guide you to what your desires have absolutely nothing to do with. And I also acknowledge we may be having a conversation about two different people.
Yes.
So we're talking about on a human level where you just want to date because you got money and you want to have all of these different options. Cool, you're going to get what you get.
Right.
But if we're talking about people who are dating for the specifics of healing, growing, and evolving, then they better be conscious of the choices that they choose.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. They better be conscious of the choices that they make. And those choices mean if you are a man, you choose what's best for you as well, you see? Because I see the second lady, when she talks about options, she means, she means options, but she actually means no options in this case, by trying to say, no, you need to date women that have children already in that case. Yes, you can do that, because there are certain people that love children already. We know that for sure. There are people who love children, like Pinkman in Breaking Bad. You watch Breaking Bad. That guy loves children. He could actually adopt a whole orphanage of children, and there are people like that. And we do applaud people like that, because taking care of a child that is not yours is not an easy thing. So people who step up to do that are very, very good people anyway. But that does not mean that everyone should do it, If you don't do it as well, there's nothing wrong with you, because you also want what's good for you as such, you see. So you cannot shove the issue of saying, now let's start dating single women after they have had relationships, and then you have not had a relationship. So that's what I think in this aspect for me. But there's an issue of single men as well. Single men. What do you think about single men? Do you think the same rules should apply single men as women?
Well, for men, I think the rules that apply to women do not. Okay, yes, there are certain women who would prefer being with men that do not have children already, because they also would have this would have the same problems, like, is the child going to accept me? What's the relationship like with the child's mother? Things like that. So there's a lot of things that you need to consider. But if a woman notices that this is a responsible man who is able to take care of his children, one who also be able to take care of her, lead her household, he has all the qualities, I think men have got a slightly higher chance of getting a partner even after having children as compared to women. I don't really know. Okay, there are a lot of reasons as to why that's the case, but yeah, in as much as there are women who would prefer to be with men without children, but when men have children, they still have a slightly higher chance of getting women without children.
Yeah, I actually do agree with you on that one as well. Because, I think it's because what men and women seek in a relationship are two different things. Women, mostly, they seek stability and responsibility, I would say. Whereas men seek respect and, I would say, fertility or purity, I would say. though these are the purities that we can have in that aspect. In most cases, there are always exceptions to every rule, but these are the things that are outstanding in a way. Therefore, when a man sees a woman with a child, first of all, the issue of purity is not there, and there is an issue of experience there. This woman has had experience, and because of this experience, maybe she might want to regard him in a different aspect, you see, because she might want to start to compare him with the other one that was there before. That is why men do not prefer that as well. Well, as women, normally, when it comes to picking men, they look at stability. How stable is this person? And if a man has a child and is taking care of a child, that speaks stability on its own already. Whereas if the woman has a child, it speaks to lack of purity, first of all. Because that's definitely not so. Because purity, we're talking about virginity, that's the only purity I'm talking about. I'm not talking about spiritual purity. That's a different aspect. But
then a man having a child doesn't necessarily mean that he has stability. If anything, like if he has stability, like why isn't he with the mother of the child?
Financial stability. I forgot to say that. Financial stability. If you can take care of a child, you are financially stable. The woman doesn't care whether the man is mentally stable or not.
That's some women who do care. It's not everyone. Like, okay, in all situations, what's this? Like, we can't generalize because there are certain people who prefer certain things. There are people who can overlook all things if they think that the partner or the person that they're with is the ideal person. They can overlook all these things, but
that's very, very true. But I think in most cases, women would much more likely overlook than men certain aspects, especially these aspects we're talking about here. Women would much more overlook them, especially when it comes to children, because women are nurturers by nature. They would think about a child saying, "Oh, this child does not have a mother. Let me help. We want to repair the brokenness that's there." Well, as a man saying, "Why should I repair a brokenness? I want to break my own."
There's that.
And be that kind of an aspect. So that's what I think about the whole situation. So anyway, this is an interesting story. And to many, this is a touching situation because, it's a real life situation for many people who go through this. And get it right, we're not condemning anyone in this case. We just say it in that way.
In every situation, you need to be able to assess every situation and look at the pros and cons. Because you might be discouraged by the fact that this woman already has a child or this man already has a child, maybe there were just certain circumstances that were not favorable for the woman and the child, but the woman is in fact a good woman who would like help you in life, support you, help you build your career, things like that. So if you look at all that, and it's not every child who is ungrateful when they've been taken care of by the stepfather. Like some children are really like grateful for what the man did because he had no reason to step up, and yet he did. So the situation is different for everyone.
That's very, very true. So there you have it. I hope you've gotten a thing or two about this. And do let us know because we can't interact all here together. So you can interact with us by commenting in the comment section so we can, see what your view is about this issue. So we will discuss more of such topics, more and more of different kinds of topics, to see what people view these issues. Strike up conversations about these things because these are things that should be talked about, and as like information is lacking on such kind of issues. So we need to talk more of such issues. For now, we will leave it here, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel Z Gambit, like and share, and also comment in the comment section for visibility of the video. So thank you very much for watching. This is Z Gambit, and for me and my wife here, we say have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.